Good morning folks, 21st Century Caveman here. Hope everybody's safe, hope everybody's well. So we're back in the garden then, and this time we're going to build a patio around the man cave. So nearly 3 years after the event then, the man cave is still completely watertight and absolutely rock solid. Now I do have a number of materials which I want to try and use, so I don't have to buy stuff unnecessarily and obviously waste money. The whole point of this DIY job is to do this patio as cheap as possible, but obviously make sure that it's fit for purpose. So the first thing of course will be to measure out the area in question and document that and work out what materials I have to work with. Now, as per usual, I never go into the minutiae stuff. I always have a basic plan, and once I start the project, things tend to pick up from there really. I just have the flexibility of, altering stuff if I need to. So we can see then that we have a number of grey slabs, 600mm square, and we also have 5 bags of grey blue chippings which I took from another build and which I left over, so I'm just going to wash those down to make sure they're nice and clean. We've also got some red slabs here, look, so I'll try and utilise those somewhere, and we also have 3 more grey slabs. All of these slabs are the same size by the way, and at least it gives some sort of conformity. Now the thing is, I don't have a laser level, so the best way to sort of gauge distances and space and all the rest of it was to utilise the man cave and to measure out from there. And once I'd actually got the measurement, then I could expand that to encompass a full width of the garden. But I needed something to start from, didn't I? So I used the edges of the man cave, the leading edge of the man cave. Now I'm using some yellow tent pegs which are absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. In fact, I bought these in Sports Direct, you get about half a dozen, and from memory they cost about £2.50, something like that. Very inexpensive. Now the nearest straight edge available to me at the time was a broom, so I decided to use a broom handle as a straight edge. There's certainly no DIY snobbery on this channel. So as you can see, look, I'm just using the broom handle just to extend the line basically, and then just to reset the cord. There you go, look, a little bit of magic for you. There we go, look, nice straight line. Now at this point I did have second thoughts actually about whether or not I'd give myself enough space to work with, and because these slate chippings are rather large, I decided to give myself a little bit more space, make the area a little bit deeper so I could sight them better between the slabs, just that they're quite big, they're not the smaller ones. So I've basically brought it out another 100mm or 4 inches. So the next thing then is to actually cut in a boundary. I'm just using a spade which I've had for donkey's years. As you can see, this has got an extra long handle. I'm 6'4" and it works absolutely spot on for my purposes. So basically I'm just defining the edge, and this will also enable me to dig out the grass a lot easier. Okay, so we've dug down about 4 or 5 inches and we now have a defined leading edge on the boundary. Now these slabs are very heavy, and in my younger days I'd have just literally picked them up and just walked them down the garden, but you know, one would hope that with age comes wisdom and the desire to expose yourself to less injury and to work smarter. So I think it's important where you get the heavier or more awkward jobs, basically to devise a system which will enable you to work a lot safer. You know, there's no point in being the strongest bloke in A&E, is there? And as you can see, look, this works an absolute treat. There we go, look, a piece of cake. Okay, so we need to start digging up this grass now then. I like to work in a methodical manner, and I accept that there is a much quicker way of doing this, and that would be to literally just start digging it out. But there is a reason why I chose to work like this and to actually separate this part of the lawn into different segments. But I'll come to that in a minute. Now I decided to carve the lawn into segments which I could then remove like turf, and there were a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons was the fact that it's going to be easier for me to lift it in this manner, but the main reason is because our very kind next door neighbour said that we could deposit any of our garden waste on his garden, and he has a pile of stuff just over the fence, and he said that we could put whatever rubbish we had on top of that. And so as a mark of respect, I decided to carve it up in segments in order that I could place these layers of turf over the garden waste he had there at the moment, you know, just to make it look nice and tidy rather than just dumping a load of crap over the fence. So as you can see, look, that's where all his garden waste goes. I mean, our next door neighbour is a bit reclusive, he's eccentric, and every 2 or 3 months he has somebody, you know, who comes to sort of like cut the lawn and cut down all the stuff in his garden. They just stick it in a pile in his back garden. So this is what I'm actually now using, and I'm covering it up with this turf just to make it look a little bit more appealing. And as I say, you know, just to do it in a courteous and respectful manner. Well folks, so we've come to the end of the first day then, and what better way to celebrate that than having a nice fire. Doesn't that look pretty?